Hello everyone, thank you for being with me today again. Welcome to my video. In this video I would like to share with you what it really means in my life that I have discovered magic mushrooms as a really beautiful friends along my way in life. First of all, this video is not to promote drugs or drug use. I should also say you should never use magic mushrooms. I think I should say that. And this video is only for educational purposes, so that you would know what it did to me, not that I'm convincing you to do that. So that's done. That's correctly done. And now we can move towards my story. The reason I started doing magic mushrooms was for personal development, let's say for spiritual growth, because I felt stuck in my life at a certain point. It was very heavy for me, everything. I was some kind of like downward spiral, like some kind of loop. I could not get myself out of it. It was not really depression or so. I would not diagnose myself, but that's what typically people do when they are depressed. They don't admit that there is something wrong with them, and they still keep up. They still kind of try to solve it themselves, which I actually did, or I'm on the way of getting much better. I'm having happy life now. I was, yeah, not really, how would I put it? I was not like a heavy case or so, but there were certain circumstances in my life which really required a lot of energy, and I will talk about it later in other videos. But now, what's important for me is not doing mushrooms because it's cool, because everybody does it, or at least on the internet. Actually, almost no one does it in my like surroundings, but really internet is nicely overflowing with people sharing their experiences. Not doing it because of the parties or so, but really doing it to heal myself and to find the light and love inside of myself, because I have really came to the point where I discovered that love I'm looking for is here. It's not everywhere else in anyone around me where I would like to steal it from, or like to suck a little bit for myself. No, it's here. It's right here. The problem in my case was first of all, I was unaware of that, and second, there was a sediment of loads and loads of shit on that, and I had to cleanse the sediments to discover that, so that it can flow throughout my body. I'm that kind of person who has a monkey mind. That means I'm constantly thinking. I'm getting to the point of this video. Don't worry. I would like to introduce my monkey mind first, because it's an important part of this video. It's constantly thinking, it's contemplating, it's criticizing, it's looking from different perspectives, it's making many options, many probabilities, A, B, C, D, E, F, outcome options. It's kind of, yeah, it's never-ending thinking monkey. But what I've discovered, it was annoying me, because it was sitting in the loop or in the downward spiral together with me. I could not stop it. I could not get out of the circle of injustice, of day-to-day life, like same shit, different day life. You know, I could not stop it. And then I realized this monkey, when I heard for the first time this metaphor of monkey mind, it was like, oh wow, that's me. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, you can train the monkey, you can feed the monkey, and it really depends on how you feed it and how you train it. If you train it to like read celebrity news and to think about what Madonna had for the Oscar awards for the dress, or what Sean Connery said to someone, I don't know, and you feed it with this kind of shallow, hollow information, it would contemplate about it. It would spiral around it. It would it would look for more because it's food for it. It's entertainment, and yeah, that's where you would be. Not that I would be that much in the past into celebrity stories, but you know, it's just an example. It could be injustice. It could be your boss, your stories, all these gossips at work, like these colleagues around you, like gossiping each other. The one who just went to the toilet gets immediately gossiped, you know, and that's food for your monkey mind and for their monkey minds and the monkey minds of other colleagues and their family members, and so you know, it can never stop since when you keep feeding this nutritionally valuable foods to it. So I got to the point where I started being interested in spirituality more, and I started looking for information, listening to various YouTube teachers and that itself became a food for my monkey mind. And my monkey mind started contemplating about that and started seeing these things in the daily life and started integrating that in my life. I was like, wow, that works actually. I have trained my monkey in my own advantage. It was very nice to discover that. So yeah, it's doing the job for me whole day long. It just depends on what you present to it. Like, hey, buddy, can you contemplate a little bit about that tonight? Sure. Or in a bus, or when you're cycling, or when you're driving. It's constantly like feeding itself on the nutrition you pour in it. So spirituality helped me a lot. Various teachers helped me a lot to train the monkey to send it in like different direction, like away from the bullshit I was busy with into something which actually has sense for my life. The disadvantage of monkey mind is, though, it cannot stay in the present moment. So if you're a monkey-minded person like I am, you're like this overthinker. It drags you there, and it drags you to the other side, and it drags you upwards to the universe, and then you start thinking about universe and infinity and these fractals and what are we, and where does it end, and what are our bodies, and so. And then you have to meditate, because you want to drag the monkey mind like sometimes, hey yo, it's time to be now. And yeah, it would eventually listen to you. So, yeah, you have to be kind to yourself, to her, to it, to the monkey mind. Because yeah, otherwise you get depressed, like that wouldn't work, and you would be hating yourself for hating it, that it doesn't go in the perfect way as you could imagine before. So I have some notes here, sorry. Yes, so this monkey in my head started integrating my trips into my life immediately when I returned from these trips. I have had several trips with my magic mushrooms. Most of them were very strong. I will put that in a different video about how many grams I took. I would not recommend it to anyone to take that much. But I actually kind of like knew my own mushrooms. I know, I've built up my dose. I know what I'm doing, I hope. I'm always thinking of Terence McKenna, like magic mushrooms. They cannot kill you, but they can convince you that they are that you are dying. And they did indeed. That's nice, but that's for another time. Kitty cat friend. Yes. So my monkey started integrating these stories and these experiences in my life immediately. Yeah, and one of these very strong messages I got, and that's not just that you hear it, you sometimes really hear words like in the language, but it's mostly like this telepathic communication which really resonates with your whole body. You don't have the body, you are it. That happens when you lose your sense of yourself. Like, I think it's called ego death. I'm not sure if I was there completely. I think so. It's difficult to categorize. But one of the messages was, the strongest one was, it has been here all the time. The answer of any questions is love. We just don't see that. Only thing that happens is just we don't see that. And this one actually is he, or it was he is sterilized. He always lays with me on the bench when I'm tripping. It's very spiritual. He's very spiritual. His name's Malibu. It has been here all the time. We just don't see it. So whenever you are having a hard time with someone, like being in argument or being in conflict, take a deep breath and remember you are like you're a creature. You are someone made of love, pure energy. You are love. That's what you are, but you just sometimes lose it because it's busy times. It's not that you should judge yourself for that. It's not your fault. Oh my god, I was crying so much when they told me that. These were fountains and fountains of love, like shooting my head off. I was laying there like, this. It's like I had these visuals that these fountains are like just squirting everywhere, out my head, through my mouth, through my third eye. It was open, like my third eye was like this big, and up the spine, shooting this energy, shooting up my spine. It was here all the time. I just didn't see it. I was crying like that. I took my mindfold off because I usually mindfold it. It's much more healing. I just, tears came out like, I didn't see it. So, love is the answer on every question. Not that it would be easy for me to do it every time, like in every conflict in my life, but usually like it prevents me into going into conflict. I'm kind of less bitchy since then, if that makes sense. Yeah, next point. During this ego death and fountains of love, I had this strong like feeling, and like it's kind of telepathic, like resonating through your whole body, like this is the way you can live your life. And now it's important quote, if you just let them do it. This, if you just let them do it, is like, translated to our human language, is if you just stop bitching about bullshit. That's basically what it means. I was crying and crying again. I was like, money has absolutely no meaning. All my concepts were bulldozed at this moment, like this. You can can explain it to someone, like, you know, you should be happy that you're healthy, that you have children, blah, 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 blah. And they would be, yeah, I get it, money is not everything. But yeah, then you take mushrooms once and you experience that. And that's the point when you really get torn off these concepts. If you just let them do it. Yeah, just let them do it, let them be. It's not, there's nothing wrong with that. Let them be. Let these children cry and get dirty. Let these police drive, these taxi drivers to honk a little bit. It's like, let them do it. If that makes if that makes their lives happier, let them do it. Nothing wrong with that. If you just let them do it. There's a lot of social pressure in this point. A lot. Everyone has a lot to work on. If you just let them do it. Yes. Another point. Children are the best teachers. First of all, your children are the ones who show you what unconditional love is. Oh my god, that's a strong one. What like these fountains of love I didn't have after giving birth. Not that strong, but strong enough to be in the trippy phase. Like I was like, oh, that's sacred. I was holding it. Oh my goodness, that's sacred. I was completely like, it took weeks, and then it got kind of like integrated in the life, and love like didn't disappear. It just transitioned into something a little bit more modern and pragmatic. You have to start functioning in your life, so you cannot be like this all the time, even if you would. And they are the best teachers. Your children show you what it is to love unconditionally, in the sense that you would hate them and love them at the same time. You would never forsake them, even if you think you would kill yourself. It's horrible to say. And it's difficult to explain, but there's no better school of patience and love than their children, because they make you meet your own skeletons, your own shadows. Oh, that's so powerful. Oh my god. I'll get into parenting later. There's a whole another video, but they are the divine and ultimate teachers. Actually, I got this message when I asked, like Terence McKenna says, just ask, or the machine elves, ask, show yourselves. So I asked, your mind trick, would you please, I'm very polite, I don't want to mess with mushrooms, would you please show yourselves? And I got no was the answer. And then I got the answer of, you don't need us, you're fine, you have your children. I saw this visual, like I was there, like in this holographic simulation suddenly, and there was me, my husband, our kids growing up, metamorphosing into each other. But it was precisely the message. They are who you need to focus on now. It doesn't mean that they will not show themselves, never, these elves, these mushrooms or machine elves, or you name it, but they didn't want. It was very, very valuable information for them, from them, for me. Oh yeah, I have one funny note here. I hope you won't mind. It might be a bit graphic or explicit. The message here is, life is an infinite fractal of metamorphosis. And it's like, I'll take tool. Moment. This is my daughter's doll. Imagine, this is me tripping. I am the mushroom. I'm like, ooh, we are together, we're having some nice time, and then I'm like, hey, it is time for you to look at your own bullshit, to cleanse. And this one is like, oh no, I don't want to look at it. Well, I'm a mushroom, I don't mind that you're against it, I'm just doing my things. And I take you, I lift you, and I have you look down into this festival toilet, you know, this chemical toilet, which is usually filled with things you don't want to look beneath you when you're busy there. And I just take your head like a mushroom and make you stare at it. But instead of this nasty stuff you can see on the festivals in these kind of toilets, you see all these poops like dancing around, like Mr. Hanky plus, dancing around like this Peruvian totem figures also, all together with these toilet papers. They are dancing there, and they are like singing like, we're so happy that we are here and we have metamorphosed from food, and we are so grateful for these humans who kind of let this metamorphosis happen, and we will metamorphose ourselves into the ground. Yeah. It's not that I would see such a like toilet setting in my trip, but this is basically what mushroom does with your shit in your head. It completely not ridiculizes that in some negative way that they would laugh you out, like, look at your shitty life. No, that's not like that. It's more like, it's like, that's easy, let it go. And then I took a deep breath, and they packed all this black ball in front of me, and I breathed out, and the mushroom threw it all away. And I started crying like squirting tears. It was unbelievably intense. I was like, thank you. And I was shivering because they dismissed me of all this shit. They like kind of they threw it away from me. There was a visual of like this dancing metamorphosis of shit, of very nasty stuff which I was carrying with me the whole life. And I'm like, okay, let it go. I even heard this, let it go, and it was gone. I was shaking and crying and thanking God and thanking mushrooms, and I was like, wow. It was like with every breath, I could feel like more and more detox. It's not that there's something wrong with like, if you leave something, if you let go of something negative, it doesn't mean that it stays around you. There's another point in this metamorphosis, that actually Mother Earth is very happy with that. Mother Earth, and that's what the mushrooms say. Luffy converts death into life, negative into positive. So another message here was, in this metamorphosis context, was like, breathe it to the ground, we are happy with that. Whenever you feel something emotional, something negative, take a deep breath and flush it away. Do the superconducting mechanism, like flush it through your body, through your feet to the ground, or through your pelvis, like, depends on how you're sitting. Give it to the ground, and we will transform it into something else. Wow, that was also a strong one. Since then I'm doing it. I really try to visualize that. When I'm in an unpleasant situation, I'm like, I just breathe in. I imagine what I saw. I put together all this shit, and then I really start laughing at the time, because I think all these dancing crappy things, and I flush it away. It's not always convenient to do such a thing, like when you're talking to a boss or something, or mother-in-law or whoever. You might look like you have lost your mind, but whenever it would be convenient for you, you can try. It really works. Like, it leaves you lighter. It's yeah, it's detoxifying you. And there's another point in my notes. We as humans, we have everything we need. Everything. We have immunity mechanisms, we have working bodies, we have breath, which is like strong detox for us also. And we have everything we need to discover love and enlightenment in our lives. It's a real pity we are not using that much. We are chasing money, we are chasing sex, we are chasing fame and success and attention, and we are forgetting how perfect we are. So they said, they resonated that in my body, like, you're perfect, you're perfect, you are the divinity. There's nothing more that you could be than exactly the way you are. Which really cheers me up when I'm having difficult times. I think of that. I do these breathing techniques of flushing things towards the ground, into the Mother Earth. And, like, wait a moment. I am the universe, yes. I start forgetting. But no, I am the universe. It's me. It's me. I'm here and now. And I am the perfect divinity. That's what I'm doing. It helps. But it wouldn't help me before these trips, I think. These are all the things you can hear, you can learn from books, but you, yeah, it's beyond words what you experience with mushrooms or other psychedelics. Doesn't matter if it's mushrooms. I'm a fan of mushrooms. Yes, and two other points I have here. Let them have it and let it go. Two really accurate sentences. Let them have it and let it go. They had it about, like, from this altered state of consciousness I was with mushrooms. They were talking about, or they were digging into my subconsciousness, and there were some like unpleasant stories coming out, and these stories, yeah, I don't know what it was about. My childhood, like some injustice has been done on me, like nothing like very serious. It was more like this childish stuff. I got punished for being stupid, or I don't know, and I didn't understand it because I was too little. And these mushrooms, they kind of explained to me, like, there was nothing wrong with me, but these people were angry, and that was their anger acting. So whenever I'm in a situation where somebody is like a bit bitchy towards me, it's not happening that often, you know, but you know, I'm like, let them have it, it's theirs anger. The anger is theirs. It's not my to handle. It's not my. Let them have it. And these mushrooms, they were so funny when they were communicating this with me. I had these funny visuals of these Peruvian totem symbols, these little men dancing and metamorphosing constantly, and they were like really partying when communicating this to me, like these spirals with these totems and flowers like blooming and like expanding and imploding. And like, let them have it, let them have it, let them have it, it's theirs. And it's all like resonating through your chest, and it's like a voice that you really hear here. You hear the voice within your body. Is nothing you can spot in your ears. It's again like you have to experience that for yourself. It's not easy to explain. But then sometimes I'm looking at people, or sometimes I like just come across an argument. I'm not involved in that. I'm just looking at it. And it's like, it's not mine to deal with. It's theirs. And I'm contemplating later, like, what's happening in their heads, you know. And sometimes I'm like, oh, what a stupid conflict. I'm over that. I would never act like that anymore, but earlier I would, maybe. So I'm constantly like learning from situations of other people. Not that I will be judging them, I'm observing them, I'm learning from them, and I can spot a lot of patterns in there and like observe what's happening there. It's very nice. So that's the one, let them have it. The let it go, it's like when you have some feeling you don't like, why don't you just let it go, let it go. It can go. And whenever they said it to me, these mushrooms, I started crying again because I started releasing that. They torn these feelings away from me. It's like, right, let it go. I didn't even wait for my answer if I would want to let it go. It just took it away from me. Oh, they were so amazing. Let it go. It was like rocket launch. It was gone at that moment, like this. Another layer of sediment of my own shit was gone at that moment. Oh my. It was really, really, really great. So since then, I'm observing myself, like I'm trying this whole day long meditation, like observing my thoughts, observing my emotions, like trying to zoom out from that and look at it from higher perspective. And I am sometimes able to say at good point, like not before it's too late, I'm able to say, let it go, let it go. It's not yours to handle. It's not yours. So it really cheered me up, this one. It really helped me a lot along my journey, and I'm like daily using that very gratefully. Thanks, mushrooms. Have them here, friends. Send it to the ground. We already had that. You have everything you need. And my last note for today is everything and everyone is perfect. You might not like it. I might not like it. I didn't like it. I still kind of struggle with accepting that, but I get it now. Like, it's perfect in the sense it's perfect on its time and place to serve its purpose. It doesn't have to be perfect in like spreading joy and love and hope or anything what is positive. But it might be just perfect by spreading negativity to teach you what negativity means, and Luffy and how to avoid it, and what are the consequences of negativity and egoism, and what might happen if you stay in such a toxic environment, and it kind of keeps you running, keeps you moving. Like if everything would be perfect and we would all sit in Himalayan mountains and we would all be meditating, yeah, we would all be sitting there. And that would be it. The real art of that is to create such a paradise inside of yourself and expand your field around you to your environment, your surrounding, people around you, and all these idiots you have met in your life. Either it is siblings, either it is boss, or I don't know, a shop assistant who didn't want to help you at a very, very bad day, or it could have been me as an annoying customer somewhere. Like I could be bitchy, really. These all people are there for a reason, to kind of let you look at a mirror and contemplate. Use your monkey mind in your advantage to kind of integrate all these things in your life. Like 50% of my friends and my environment, like around me, people around me, they are very close-minded and unspiritual. The other 50% is people I talk to more, I share more stories with. Naturally, that's where I incline to, but I would not dismiss the other 50% of people around me. First of all, because we have history, we have some nice stuff in our lives that we have shared. And second of all, it's like sometimes I get a hint of being important for them in this kind of witchy nature of me, this the spiritual nature. Everyone needs spirituality, and those ones who say they don't need it, they need it the most. And notice that when you zoom out a bit and you start contemplating about these situations and thinking and using your monkey mind in your advantage, you will get much more peace in your life. Mushrooms are like 10 years of meditation and experience concentrated into one successful trip. Not into a bad trip, of course. It could be also a nice lesson, but I haven't had any bad trips yet. I hope I won't. And yeah, it's just the whole point of this medicine is to be able to integrate that in your life, in our lives, and to remember that we are all divine, and that there's no better lesson than the life itself, and that everything what is happening because it is supposed to be happening. So don't worry, even if it's nasty, try to see the lesson in that. Just try. It doesn't mean that you would succeed immediately. It's also not required to succeed immediately. It's just like, just try. And it will eventually get better. And better. And better. And then you will get these kind of ideas maybe. To paint something nice, because you will be in love with mushrooms and what they do for you, the knowledge they carry, the easiness of life, and how heavy the life is for humans, how difficult we make it for ourselves. It's just us making it difficult. The existence itself is very easy. Very easy. It's like it. It is being. And nothing else matters. I will leave you here with one very wise note of my husband, who is very supportive in this matter. When I returned from one of my strong trips, it took like 7 hours. Man, that was crazy. I felt like I spent 10 years there. I was like, sweetie, there was no time. There was no time. There were no appointments. There was no stress. I felt like I have just had 10 years long vacation. I'm so peaceful now. And he said like, hey, we have just had 10 years long vacation. Now, back to the kitchen.